Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1.
Range is hot. Lock and load. It's time for the Gun Rack with your hosts, Joey and Drew.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Gun Rack, Sonoran Desert Institute School of Firearms Technology's official podcast. I am Drew Poplin here with you today. Prayers up for Joey Upper. My man is not feeling well, so we want to wish him the best and speedy recovery. I think there is something going around, at least in our neck of the woods. I know a lot of people are starting to get coughs and, flu, COVID-like symptoms, stuff like that. So stay healthy, everyone. Make sure you're getting plenty of vitamin C, vitamin D, and especially because, as beautiful as it is outside, it's getting a little chillier. I know Joey doesn't like fall, but I love fall. I love how the air, it's crisper, the trees are beautiful. There's a lot to like. So you don't want to be sick and missing out on all of that. So let's get healthy, everyone. As you can tell from the title, we're having a bit of a fun episode today. I teamed up with our new content machine, our new content friend, ChatGPT, to compile a list of horror movie icons if they were firearms. Before we get into that, let's talk real quick about SDI. Sonoran Desert Institute, otherwise known as SDI, is an online school that helps students learn the skills and techniques they'll need to be successful in the firearms and unmanned technology industries. SDI is accredited by the Distance Education Accrediting Commission, also called the DEAC. Currently, we want to stress currently, we offer two programs in firearms technology. We offer the Associate of Science in Firearms Technology, so, associate's degree, and the Certificate in Firearms Technology Gunsmithing. More information about these two great programs, I encourage you to go to our website. That's www.sdi.edu. Find out more information there. And let's get on with the show. So basically what I did, I opened up ChatGPT and I said, hey, if horror movie icons had firearms equivalents, what would that look like? And they gave me a decent list of 6 names, and then asked him to do a couple more. And so finally, he compiled a list. I feel like it's a pretty good start. They started off with icons from like the 70s and 80s for the most part, which, to be honest, that's probably one of my favorite time periods in the horror movie genre. That was the stuff I grew up on. I'm a young guy, but my aunt, she was totally into those slasher films from back in the day. So that's kind of what this list is going to focus on. But if you guys like the idea of this, I would be happy to bring it back maybe next year. Do some of like the classic Universal monsters like Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, Gillman, and maybe like a couple others. Because there's so many to get through. So I don't think we're going to get through all the iconic characters. So if your favorite character isn't mentioned, there's a chance we can do a part 2, part 3 to this, and we'll probably get around to it. But yeah, so we're focusing mainly on like the slasher villains from like the 70s, 80s, a little bit in the 90s, that time period. Yeah, so let's go get started. The first character that we are going to tackle is Freddy Krueger from the Nightmare on Elm Street series. This was an interesting one because he's got the glove, he's got a very iconic look, as do most of these. I'd say pretty much all these characters have a certain iconic look about them. And then Freddy, he's got the dream abilities. So here's what ChatGPT suggested. They said a silenced and customized 1911 pistol with extended blades on the slide. Freddy's firearm equivalent would be a 1911 style pistol modified with custom suppressors and sharp blades attached to the slide. This would allow him to shoot quietly and use the blades for close quarters attacks. Now, I see where they were going with this with the blades on the slide. Yeah, obviously, but I disagree with ChatGPT here. For me, one, probably the biggest disagreement I have here is why would it be silenced? Freddy, maybe more so than any of the other people we have on this list, is known for his quips and his trash talking. So I feel like a silencer does not fit in with the character. So I went a different direction. I sort of drew upon the inspiration with the glove, and so I went with the Sedgley OSS 38. If you recall in the movie Inglorious Bastards, the basically the glove gun, yeah, that's sort of, I guess, how it's commonly known as. It's basically that. So I would want that, but have it modified to where instead of it's just the one barrel, you have like you have 5 barrels on one glove. So that's what I went with Freddy. Next up, we have, I guess, somewhat his rival. We have Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. So ChatGPT said that Jason as a firearm would be a pump action shotgun with a machete bayonet attachment. Jason's firearm equivalent would be a pump action shotgun with a machete blade mounted under the barrel, combining his preference for bladed weapons with devastating power of a shotgun. Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty good initial guess. One thing I was frustrated going through this was they didn't offer many specific firearms. I even tried to like specify, like, hey, can you give me like real world firearm? But yeah, I guess the technology isn't quite there yet. Anyway, definitely like the direction with the shotgun. I think that's a great choice. So I went with the Mossberg 500 field and security combo. It's reliable, it's versatile. You know, one thing they talk about Ason's penchant for bladed weapons. Yes, but you know, if you watch his movies, he's pretty versatile with how he does his business. So I wanted something that kind of tapped into that while still being, you know, strong. I wanted to pack a punch for the most part, no frills. However, if we are talking about Jason from Jason X, then that's going to change some things. If we're talking about Jason X, then I think we go with the IWI Tavor. It's the semi-automatic bullpup 12 gauge shotgun, because that movie is in space. It's not good, but I do enjoy watching it. Next up, we have probably one of my favorites on this whole list. We have Michael Myers from the Halloween series. ChatGPT's had his firearms equivalent as a simple, unmodified revolver. Michael Myers is known for his simplicity and physical strength. His firearm equivalent would be a basic, unmodified revolver, highlighting his preference for close quarters combat. So, yeah, I think they're, you know, on the right trail here, especially keeping it simple, no frills. I decided to go with Glock 19, you know, for that reliability, because it is just so basic of a semi-automatic handgun, and because it is iconic. You know, Michael Myers is known as the Shape, and I think if you go out on the street and ask someone to draw what they think a modern handgun looks like today, I feel like 9 times out of 10 someone's going to draw something resembling a Glock. And so, you know, for those reasons, I think Glock and Michael Myers, they make a pretty good pairing. Again, no nonsense. Maybe add a silencer on there because, you know, he's a pretty quiet fellow. So, yeah, let's keep going. Next up, we got from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films, we have Leatherface, which Texas Chainsaw Massacre is probably, I think it's in my top 5 films of all time. The original from 74, great film. So ChatGPT, they suggested a rugged and sawed-off shotgun. Leatherface's firearm equivalent would be a sawed-off shotgun, matching his brutal and chaotic style. It is very, very difficult to argue with this one. I think they made, as far as real-world equivalents, they made the right choice. So this one, I kind of went a little bit off the beaten path, and by beaten path, I mean I chose a gun that doesn't technically exist in the real world. But it was just too good of a pairing to not mention. I went with the Mark II Lancer assault rifle, which if you're not aware of what that is from, that's from the video game series Gears of War. Basically, it's a mid-range assault rifle, and it's got a fully operational chainsaw as the bayonet. That's sick. That's sick. And so it just seemed like the natural pairing. I had to mention it. All right, we're going to do 3 more. We're going to do 3 more, and got some interesting ones here. So let's go do Chucky. So from Child's Play, you know, the killer doll, ChatGPT I think they hit the nail on the head on this one. So they went with a tiny concealable Derringer pistol. Chucky's firearm equivalent would be a tiny two-shot Derringer pistol that he can wield easily in his doll form, maintaining a small size and surprise factor. Spot on, ChatGPT. As soon as I was compiling characters that I had in mind for this, I wrote down Chucky, and I'm like, it's got to be a Derringer or something like a Derringer. Just a very, very micro compact pistol. And I like that they had the two shot on it, because the thing with Chucky is I feel like if he doesn't catch you by surprise, then what's he really going to do? He's a doll. I'm not a fan. So the Derringer, you got those two shots, and if you don't hit with those, then you're in trouble. So I think that was a great call on ChatGPT's part. Now, Pinhead from the Hellraiser movie franchise, ChatGPT said his firearms equivalent would be a unique, ornate, and mystically charged flintlock pistol. Pinhead's firearm equivalent would be an ornate flintlock pistol with mystical engravings, supernatural ammunition, reflecting his otherworldly and sadistic nature. I mostly agree with ChatGPT on this one as well. I'm not necessarily certain I would go with a flintlock. I will say there is a very worthy contender. There is a double-barreled wheel-lock pistol that was made for Emperor Charles back in 1540. Look it up. I think that fits quite well and probably should be the choice. However, I wanted to throw in what my initial thought was, which was basically a super ornate, decked out Desert Eagle. Pinhead has sort of that famous, like him and the Cenobites, their whole thing is like taking them to a place of it blurs the lines between pain and pleasure. Well, I've seen enough fails on YouTube of people shooting Desert Eagles and getting their mess knocked in. So I think the Desert Eagle encapsulates that blending between the indistinguishable line of pain and pleasure. And so, yeah, that was my initial thought, was a Desert Eagle, but definitely look up that other one, if nothing else, just to appreciate the craftsmanship on display. And then our final one, and this took me probably the longest to find my equivalent, but this one's for Ghostface from the Scream series. ChatGPT, they suggested a sleek, modern semi-automatic pistol with an integrated voice changer. Ghostface is known for using voice changing technology to disguise their identity. In this modern interpretation, Ghostface would have a semi-automatic pistol with an integrated voice changer, allowing them to taunt and terrorize their victims over the phone while wielding a lethal firearm for added threats. In practicality aside of having a voice changer on your firearm like that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. But that aside, I think it was a pretty decent direction for them to take. However, for me, when I think about Ghostface, when I think about, Scream, I think about it, it being two killers instead of just one. And so I wanted to focus on trying to find a firearm that was 2-in-1. And I was really struggling. It was hard to kind of put into your Google search what you're looking for and find something effective that comes out. However, I do think I found something. I think I found the one, and that is Standard Manufacturing's S333 Thunderstruck. So, like, it's an interesting gun. It looks like almost like a snub-nosed revolver to an extent, but holds 8 rounds. Its trigger, you use 2 fingers to pull it because it's got such a heavy trigger pull. But basically, it's a volley fire revolver chambered in 22. And so every time you pull the trigger, it sends 222 rounds. Nowadays, there's a little bit like the next generation that apparently has a slightly longer barrel, but just the idea of the 2-in-1, it's all, pretty much all black firearm. It seemed like the right choice for me. So that's what I went with. Now, that is it for this list. However, as I mentioned, there are a couple other characters that we could do equivalents, just for fun. So let us know. Let us know in the comments, or send an email to marketing@sdi.edu if you want to see more horror movie icons as firearms, or other movie characters as firearms, we could probably do that as well. But if you want to see more of this, or if you have your own suggestions, if you think, hey, I disagree with you and ChatGPT on Michael Myers, I think it's this firearm. Yeah, please let us know. Again, this is all good fun, and I'd be very curious to hear what you guys have as some interesting comparisons. So that is it for this week's episode of the Gun Rack. Again, have fun, stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you at the range.
Sonoran Desert Institute is an online school accredited by the DEAC. It is headquartered at 1555 West University Drive in Tempe, Arizona. For more information about how you can craft your firearms future, visit sdi.edu.